One. Welcome, everybody, to GZ Truth News. It is January 4th, 2024. We have a very special guest, David Baumblatt.
Baumblatt,
And,
that's fine. That's fine.
and he's a former FBI author, whistleblower, leadership veteran. He's got a lot of things to say. Thank you very much for being on the show. Let's hear it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And to the audience, I assume the audience is Americans. You're about to hear a very strange and hopefully interesting story that will add value to your life. And what do I mean by that? Whether you know this or not, the America that we know it, the American government, the American society has been on decline for decades. And I predict Civil War, collapse, revolution, whatever you want to call it. Let me do a quick introduction. My name is David Baumblatt. I'm an American citizen, born and raised in New York. My family immigrated to America back in 1850 from Germany. We have fought in war since the Civil War. My family is volunteered to serve in the military. Myself, I graduated from the United States Military Academy, West Point. I served honorably as a U.S. Army officer. In 2004, I entered the FBI as a special agent in the National Security Branch, where I worked foreign counterintelligence. You're hearing now stories of FBI whistleblowers, and God bless them, because when I left the FBI in 2007, one of the reasons I didn't come forward is I don't think anyone would believe me. I think people were still, the FBI's good, this and that. So when you're starting to hear more and more of these stories, it adds credence. And that credence is not just the FBI, but our government as a whole. It has become corrupt. The FBI is of particular importance because if I looked at our United States government as a whole, it is probably pound for pound the most powerful government agency. They will take away your freedom in a heartbeat. When I entered the FBI in 2004, I realized it very quick that besides there was an absolute lack of leadership with our FBI management. It is absolutely atrocious. I would use the word dog shit. That's how bad it is. These people are absolutely, in fact, if you use the timeline, I entered in 2004, it's 2024. My classmates now are senior management now in the FBI. Not impressed. I also want to look, because again, I come from a leadership background. This is West Point. We hear this all the time, that the management is corrupt, but the people on the ground, the field agents, are good. And you hear that a lot, like law enforcement, like management is corrupt, people, at the field agent level are good. I would push back on that, and I'd say this, and these are my classmates. Well, first of all, where does the management come from? They come from the field agents. They come in years and years, they matriculate to management. So that's where they came from first. So they were probably, corrupt people themselves. But I want to focus the point on, don't fool yourself. You could find nice, good FBI agents, but they're weak. And because they're weak, they will reluctantly follow the orders, whatever those orders are. Now, how many do I think will do that? 90%. I would bring this out to whatever, law enforcement, military. There's just a lot of weak people, and those weak people will follow it. So what I want to do is, my story has so many parts. I want to do the big picture in the sky right now, because I'm sure you have a lot of questions. That is this. I'm currently in Hong Kong. I left America in 2010. Again, I left the FBI in 2007. And I wrote, by the way, Senator Chuck Grassley in 2007 a letter telling them about the corruption of the FBI. Basically, the main point is the FBI is unconstitutionally spying on American citizens, even though there is no evidence, probable cause of illegal activity. They're spying. They're spying on me. They're spying on you. The difference between me and you is I know they're spying on me. I've approached them. They keep doing it. And the damages now are gotten to the point that I've come forward. What I also want to tell you is everything that I'm about to tell you, everything has been documented and submitted to every single congressman and senator, obviously to the FBI, also to the Inspector General of the Department of Justice. I think his name's Horowitz. I've been ignored by everyone. So I say this again, if anyone here thinks that this story is fake or my background, this and that, you ask yourself as a military veteran, you would think I deserve at least the respect for at least one congressman or senator, because they always say this garbage, how much they appreciate military veterans for their service. Put one congressman or senator's name down on the piece of paper that says, David, we looked at it. We think your allegations are false. You're whatever. That just do it. Not one. And that should make you wonder what is going on with our government. So the first big headline that I want to ask you is this. Why is an American citizen military veteran not welcome back in America? I say it again because it sounds crazy. Why is an American citizen military veteran not welcome back in America? Now you're going to ask me why. What do you mean not welcome? I'm going to explain it. First of all, we're going to break down not welcome with this. When I go to America, I'm detained, I'm searched, I'm interrogated, I'm covertly spied upon, I'm deceived, humiliated, and physically assaulted. If that happens to you in a country, you would probably agree with me. You're not welcome. I get treated better in foreign countries than my own country. Here's what happened. The last time I traveled back to America was August of 2019. I was on a plane from Taiwan to Chicago O'Hare. Now, by the way, through the Freedom of Information Act, what I'm about to tell you, because there's two components. There's the FBI and there's what's called the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Patrol. The Department of Homeland Security, the Freedom of Information Act, I was able to get this. This is again in my allegations, in my book, everything sent to the Congress. Obviously, the part about the FBI, Freedom of Information Act, you're not going to get anything. This is what happens. When we arrive at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, most of the plane is filled with foreign nationals. You could tell it's from Taiwan. We go through customs. They're released into America. This is Chicago to do who knows what. Me, I get selected for what's called secondary screening. So it's so interesting. Now at the southern border, everybody just comes on in. Come on in, come on in, come on. But when I come in, oh, no, stop. It's interesting. When I come in, they are able to enforce immigration with me. But everyone else, it just seems like we don't have the manpower. We can't enforce, legal, illegal immigration. When I come in, though, oh, by the way, they've got me in pocket. That should make you wonder, why are they able to be so successful with me, but not all these millions of other, illegals? I get selected for secondary screening. There are 4 uniformed Customs and Border Patrol agents. This is where my first detainment and interrogation begins. I'm told to surrender all my digital equipment. This would be your phone, your laptop, to give them my password to open up these devices. Otherwise, they'll be confiscated. That was the choice. Give us. Then these devices are taken to a back room. I am not allowed to accompany. And in that back room doing who knows what. Then the interrogation begins. And oh, by the way, if you don't want to talk to the officers and you want to remain silent, which and I think cops suck, by the way. I defund the police as far as I'm concerned. The police have gone tyrannical. Instead of honoring your constitutional right to remain silent, they think you're being deceitful, deceptive, hiding. And they ask the questions. What do you think about the American government? They're asking my political stance. What am I doing in China? What are my contacts? I'm not interested in talking. They're angry that I don't want to talk, but then when I ask them, why are you asking me these questions? They don't talk. They go through all my stuff, everything, count dollar for dollar, everything. I waited over 3 hours while my digital equipment is still in some back room with who knows who doing who knows what. 3 hours later, I get my digital equipment. Again, I've told them I'm not interested in talking to them anymore, so they realize the interrogation's not going to go anywhere, and they went through all my stuff. So I was finally allowed to leave. Now, as an American citizen, I'm finally able to go in Chicago. Now, if anyone wants to know what the purpose I was in Chicago, because I didn't want to tell the cops, it's none of their business, I highly recommend you go to my Rumble channel. I've got 3 videos, video 1, 2, and 3. Video 2 is I am suing the corrupt Boeing Corporation, and it's corrupt. And I'll tell you, the Boeing Corporation, they love China. I work for Boeing in China, which should make you wonder, what is the American military-industrial complex doing in China? That is a whole different other story. But Boeing is headquartered in Seattle, but it's registered in Chicago. I'm there to do a deposition against the Boeing defense team. So it was only about a 2 to 3 day trip. Once I'm in the city, I could tell I'm under surveillance. Just feel it. I'm under surveillance. I then proceed to Grant Park. Everything I'm telling you is documented. Your congressmen and your senators that you pay tax money to, they have this. They've ignored me. Despite me being a military veteran, they don't care. Why we pay our tax money to these people, beyond me. Everything's documented. I'm in Grant Park. I see a person covertly surveilling. Now, that's an intelligence term just to say he's basically stalking me. Do you like to be stalked in your own home country? Doesn't make you feel good. Doesn't make. So again, he's, hiding behind trees, taking pictures of me. This is all covert. I could tell. I'm like, I described this person too. About 33 years old, white guy, khaki shorts, blue, white tennis sneakers. I describe him. I have no doubt that this person is an FBI employee. He is either a special agent or he could be what we call a surveillance operative. Either way, an FBI employee. Not much I could do. Not like I'm going to go to the police. And again, he's about 30. We're in the park. He's about 30 meters away. Very secretive. Again, this is not overt surveillance. This is covert. So, he's pretending like I don't see him, stuff like that. I proceed to run in the opposite direction of him in the park. It's hard for me to remember how long. It could have been 100 meters to 200 meters. I mean, I was pretty much out of breath. And going through the park, nooks and crannies here and there. And then I proceed to what's called an L dead end. I hit the dead end. I immediately turn around, and the same man is in full pursuit after me. When he turns the corner, and I'm looking directly at him, and I've got a look on my face saying, I caught you. His eyes come up, and he slows down to a jog, a walk, and you could tell he is surprised. I have no doubt about it to the American people. What I'm about to tell you, he did not write in his report to the FBI. He didn't. For unethical reasons, because in the surveillance world, he now got burnt. This is not good for his career, and what he's about to do is an illegal act. He probably omitted this entire thing from his report to the FBI because I was under surveillance. As he's walking to me, I could tell he's pissed off. Now, remember, I think this person is 100% FBI. You do not want to get in any physical confrontation with law enforcement or let alone the FBI. So I was in a bit, I don't know what to do. I've never seen this person in my life. I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm 100% convinced this person is FBI. What I do is what law enforcement is absolutely horrible at doing in America. Instead of escalating the situation, law enforcement should de-escalate. So the only thing I could think of to de-escalate the situation was extend my right hand just like you're about to shake someone's hand. And I kept my body so sort of loose because I didn't want to make it feel like I'm in a fighting stance. This is a good point. You'll realize what happened to me. So I wanted to make sure I was just totally very loose, not in any aggressive stance, and just bring out my hand as he's approaching me. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me pissed off. It is a very surreal environment. Right before he's about to shake my hand, here comes the deception part. I ask him my first question. I said, "You're not following me, are you?" He answers me right about almost about to shake my hand. He's like, "No," shouts it, which is a lie. He then grabs my hand. I asked him the second question. I said, "You wouldn't lie to me, would you?" "No." He starts squeezing my hand as if he's trying to break my hand. He's about 5'9". I'm 6'5", so there's obviously a different height standard here. He tries to shake. At that time, he shakes, rotates his arm. He assaults me with his elbow in my solar plex. His shoulder bumps me in my chest. It was so hard. We spun around 180 degrees. I almost fall over. He almost falls over. We recover. And when we recover, we're about, I'm taking a guess, 2 to 3 feet apart. Again, I've written, this is all my allegations. We're now 180 degrees looking at each other. I'm physically assaulted at this time. I'm 100% convinced this guy's FBI. We're now 2 to 3 feet away. We're looking at each other, a little huffing and puffing now. And again, surreal. What do? I summon my military command voice and I use my knife hand. I said, "Stop following me." I shouted it as loud as I can, right in his face, about 2 to 3 feet away he was from me. I turned around. Now I'm faced in my original direction and I run for it. As I'm running, he's right behind me again. Now he's only about 10 feet away, shouting on his phone directions. I proceed to go over the streets, where the light is red, oncoming vehicles, putting my life in danger, doing escape and maneuver. This is me. an American citizen, military veteran, I'm being hunted down in my own country. This is another reason why I'm not welcome in America. I'm only there for about 2 days, so I escape and maneuver. I've done that. I did it for about 5 to 6 hours until I finally felt, okay, I think I've shaken them off. I think the next day I do my deposition. Obviously now I'm wired, where before I was in Chicago thinking maybe I'm under surveillance. Now I'm pretty much wired. I'm like, what is going on? I then, once it's done, go back to the same airport to fly back to Taiwan. I go into the airport. Everything is normal. Tickets, everything. We're in the lounge area, the gate area, ready to board the plane. The stewardess says we're now begin boarding. Rows 1 through 10 stand up, 20 through 30 stand up. We all stand up. We're lining in. And like every airport, there's a couple corridors, and we are ready to board the plane. I hardly ever see this before, but as we're literally, getting ready to board the plane, we're all in a line. There are 2 uniformed Customs and Border Patrol agents inspecting everyone's passport as we go through. Again, we're already past customs. It's literally, we're just ready to board the plane. It's rare you see something like this. Passport inspect, passport comes to me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part called humiliation. We're in this line. This line is, again, this is a big airplane. There's like 200, 300, I don't know. I mean, this is a long line. I get to these Customs Border Patrol agents, passport, Mr. Baumblatt, please step over here, which is about 2 to 3 feet away from the line. So what I'm about to tell you, everyone boarding the plane sees. I've got my backpack on, carry-on luggage, everything. They said, we need to go through all your stuff. I said, well, where do you want me to put it? I mean, we're basically in that hallway like you're boarding a plane. We're not in any like special room now. He's like, please sit on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor like I'm a little kid now. As everyone's walking by, they're like, please take off your shoes, take out the soles of your feet. They're going through everything now. I'm on the ground. They're putting out, talk about your privacy. Everyone's walking by. They're looking down at all my stuff. Take out your phone, this and that. Everything's on the ground there to get inventoried. They want my socks off. I mean, this is humiliation. They begin to interrogate me. What is your purpose in Chicago? Now, I've told you what my purpose is, with the Boeing, but my advice to you, never talk to cops. They're not your friends. But if you don't talk to cops, even though they should respect your silence, they don't. They think you're being deceptive. Why don't you want to tell us? What is your purpose? What hotel were you staying in here? Where are you going? Why are you flying to Taiwan? What are you doing in Taiwan? There's none of your business. But notice, though, when I ask them, why are you searching me? What is your purpose? They don't talk. Notice that? It's kind of like I'm big into privacy. The government wants all the citizens to be open kimono, transparent. You think the government's going to do it? Nope. They proceed then to search me. Now I'm standing up. They're grabbing my crotch. It looks like I'm about to be arrested. They're going through. In fact, I'm telling them, what are you looking for? They're going through it. This is how invasive it is. I have a notebook in my book bag. Every single page, they take out their camera. Boom, boom, boom. Comes to telephone numbers. Who does this telephone number belong to? I say, none of your business. They pull out their cell phone. Don't worry, we'll find out. I basically look at them. What are you doing? This is so unprofessional. You don't do this. It got so bad, the plane is boarded. The flight attendant who's, in that door at the airplane, the boarding door, she's got direct line of sight to us. We're about 15 meters, maybe 15 feet. I mean, we're literally right in that door. Because again, this is the last stage of just boarding an airplane. And so she's been watching us. And she motions to the Customs and Border agents, is he coming on or not? Because we're ready to go. The plane is waiting on me. That's how long this interrogation, detainment, search is taking. They're pissed off because, like these police pigs that they are, they haven't found their performance metrics. They're not interested in serving the American citizens or the Constitution. They're more worried about their career, their performance. They just want to make an arrest, So they're obviously angered that they're not finding whatever they're looking for or getting whatever information. And they're like, listen, if you don't cooperate, we'll raise this higher. If you don't get on your flight, we don't care. And I kept asking, what are you looking for? I mean, I was totally cooperative. They went through everything. Finally, the flight attendant says, listen, last call. Either he's on or we got to shut the door. They look at me like pissed off, like, fine, go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a military veteran. This is how I'm treated. This is the welcome that I have. You know what I said? Go fuck yourself. I'm gone. Meaning I'm not coming back to America. And I'm going to tell you why I've done this investigation. To the American people, this is how bad it's gotten. Now, oh, by the way, the difference between me and a lot of American citizens that this is happening is I know they're spying on me and I confronted them. There's a lot of parts of my story, so let me go through it. When I got back then, I flew back to Taiwan. As you may or may not know, we have FBI agents stationed in U.S. embassies abroad. They're called legats, legal attaches. I made an appointment with the legal attache and the assistant legal attache out of the U.S. Embassy in Beijing. This is when I've returned already. I made the appointment. This is all documented, by the way. Your congressmen and your senators, who I think suck, Republicans too, they suck. They got this. I had the meeting with the two FBI agents. This is managerial level. I said, listen, gentlemen, one of the guys I actually knew from time ago, one of the guys I never met before. I said, listen, I am under investigation by the FBI. They said, we don't know anything about it. Fine. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I'm not worried about it. I said,